A lot of people get worried when you say that America was founded as a Christian nation. The reason for their worry is they think the establishment of biblical Christianity as the underlying moral precepts of government poses a real threat to pluralism. Our founding fathers were not unaware of this concern, but heartily disagreed. In fact, the only way they thought they could preserve pluralism in America was to establish the country as a Christian nation. David Barton explains their reasons.
Patrick Henry said it cannot be emphasized too often or too strongly that this great nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians, not on religions, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, that statement in itself is enough to make many people nervous today. They think, oh, we're losing all this pluralism we have. But look what Patrick Henry pointed out. He said, it is for this very reason that people of other faiths have been afforded asylum, prosperity, and freedom of worship here. Now, that statement by Henry was the reflection of historical studies. You see, in nations that claim to be strongly biblical Christian nations, not just having the name of Christianity, but if they applied biblical principles, other religions were welcome there. There was a free exchange of thoughts. They did not believe that you had to coerce someone into being a Christian, that you could just present the material and they would, by their mental assent, accept that. Now, as early as the early 1800s, we had lawsuits which were apparently challenging the fact that we're a Christian nation. Other religious groups in the nation, and we had many religions at the time, that came and challenged the Christian precepts. And the courts were always quick to point out, they said, no, wait a minute. They said, we're a religious nation, we're a Christian nation. Said, we don't tell you how to believe, when to believe, where to believe, what to believe, or if to believe. The very reason that you have the freedom to practice your religion here is because we're a Christian nation. And that is true. If you look at nations all across the world, there are religious nations all over the world. The Mideast, the Far East, the Near East. All those nations that are religious nations, they don't have tolerance. They don't have pluralism there. They are very strict on their religious beliefs and allow no one else entrance there. Not so in a Christian nation. A Christian nation encourages others to come, allows others to come. Now, the Founding Fathers did believe there had to be a standard of behavior, a standard by which you measured rights and wrongs. And that is true for any nation. Every nation has to adopt a standard of behavior for rights and wrongs, and this is where the Founding Fathers chose the Christian standard of behavior. They chose things like the Ten Commandments that said stealing is wrong, murder is wrong, perjury is wrong. They chose biblical precepts that said, for example, rape is wrong and that fornication is wrong. They chose that standard, and that's what they used in civil society. But never once did they legislate opinions that we would call denominational or religious opinions. Never once did they say that you had to attend to this church, or you had to go to church at all, or that you had to believe this when you got in church, or that we should have this one denomination administering this section. Not at all. They believed in the basic biblical principles, but they would not allow, and they fought against the establishment of any one denominational belief in preference to all others.
Now, if you're a person of a different religious persuasion than Christianity, or maybe you don't believe in God at all, maybe you wonder how the Founding Fathers could have thought that by establishing America as a Christian nation and then mandating by law that Christian principles be taught in the public schools, that they were not violating others' First Amendment rights. Well, our Founding Fathers certainly considered this problem and had developed an answer for it. Listen.
So if you're from a different religion other than Christianity, what provisions are there for you? If you don't want your children being taught Christian principles in school, what could you do? What would the Founding Fathers have done with that? The Founding Fathers addressed that issue because there were many religions in America at that time. See, what they had then was educational choice. They would allow you to start your own schools with your own beliefs, and they would allow you to exert tax dollars in that direction. They really didn't care, just so long as students were educated. Had we educational choice today, as they had then, it would be a much simpler issue. You could select your choice of schools that taught the religious values that you embraced, that you chose, that you wanted your children to know. And that was what the Founding Fathers did. Now, there's something else that has to be kept in mind here. We will never reach the point in this nation, and we should not, where that all religions are equal. And we try to do that today. Even in 1962, when the court struck down voluntary prayer, it pointed out that 3% of the nation did not believe in God, and we shouldn't go around offending that 3% of the nation who don't believe in God. Now, the difficulty with that is, in this form of government, whether we call it a republic or a democracy or a democratic republic, numbers are important. What we're to always make sure in this form of government is that the majority does not lose. Now, when you have 3% being protected at the cost of 97%, That's complete reversal of government purpose. Can you imagine a vote on the U.S. Senate that went 97-3 and the 3 won? That's exactly what happened with the removal of the acknowledgement of God in '62. See, Thomas Jefferson was very clear about it. He said, in this form of government, not everyone will be happy. You can't make everyone happy. He said, someone's rights will always be violated. The important thing was to make sure that it was the smaller group that got violated, not the majority. In a recent case, in the Lee Wiseman case, one of the dissenting justices pointed out, he said, this is wrong to tell students they can't pray at school. He said, what we have done here is tried to protect the feelings of one person that opposed prayer. He said, what we have done is hurt the feelings of thousands of people that supported prayer. You see, in this form of government, that's untenable. We cannot have that in this form of government, and the Founding Fathers even warned about that then. But the way we can get around not wanting our children to be taught Christian principles or whatever, if you're of a different religion, is very simply through educational choice.